He's back. He's back. Barack Obama is back. And look what he has to say. Obama knocks folks in charge while discussing the cootie in a commencement speech. Because, you know, when I'm graduating, I want to hear somebody talk about politics and the cooties. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to hear about. I've just spent the last 4 to 6 years of my life. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, I just want to bring this to your attention in case you weren't aware. As Barack Obama starts kicking up the dirt against the current president, Donald Trump, I want you to either reflect back if you can, if you're old enough, and if not, feel free to look it up. Look at what Jimmy Carter said about Ronald Reagan. And you will discover he didn't say anything. And if you look at what Gerald Ford said about Jimmy Carter, he didn't say anything. And if you look at what George Washington said about John Adams, he didn't say anything. Now let's flash forward a little bit closer. If you look at what Ronald Reagan and George Bush said about Bill Clinton, they actually got together and had a party. More than once. Not Ronald Reagan, because he was having physical issues. Joe Biden can tell you about them. And if you look at what George Bush said about Barack Obama, you will discover he said nothing. None of them have said anything. Presidents don't diss current presidents. Oh, but you skipped Bill Clinton. Did Bill Clinton say stuff about Trump? Did Bill Clinton say something bad about Bush? He kind of did here and there. But it was not looked on favorably. Presidents aren't supposed. You're not supposed to do it for good reason. First of all, you're punching at something that it's not a fair fight because you're never going to be in there. But if he wants to make this campaign about him, the guy who had the worst recovery in history of America, okay, I'm sure Trump would be more than happy to take that on. And if you remember when Obama did his little speech at the White House press conference and he said, no, that's not what it was called. While the news people get together and used to invite the White House, and Trump's like, dude, I'm not going to that thing. Your party stinks. All you do is rip on Republicans. And I happen to be a Republican at the moment. So anyways, and Obama's there and he's doing his little spiel and he's like, oh, and Trump was in the audience like, you know, because at least I'm president and you're never going to be president. Oh. Yeah, 2 years later, tables were turned, literally. Who was invited to be at the podium that time and who would have been sitting outside? So, yeah, Mr. I'm going to draw a red line and not keep it has the nerve to break history. Oh, of course he breaks history because he doesn't look like all the other presidents. Just ask him. He can't stop saying it over and over and over. Yeah, well, he's also got no freaking class. No president has done. Well, you said Bill Clinton did. Like I said, he's got no class. Very tacky. For you Obama supporters, do you realize the ugly precedent this is creating? As if Russia wasn't bad enough. Guys, hoax after hoax after hoax. And for those of you who like to say, Trump's just lies, I ask you to ponder this question. How many of the people that have called him liars on the media, in the news and stuff like that, how many of them have turned out to be the liars? They said, hey, he wasn't spied on. Ha 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 ha. He was spied on. And I could do a whole thing, but that's a different video. Barack Obama is sticking his finger into a fight it has no business going into. He's also tearing down another, as if it wasn't bad enough that Pelosi tore the speech behind Trump. I mean, all of the stuff that has never happened in our country that made our country wink wink civil. Well, that wink wink was important because now they're taking away the wink wink. Well, guess what, guys? If you take away the wink wink, you don't got civil, you got civil war. They need to think clearly about what they're doing. They're breaking all the rules. He said he wanted to Obama said he wanted to fundamentally transform the country. Well, he's doing it, but never in a good way. Never in a good way. He used the IRS to spy on his enemies and punish them. He used the IRS, and the IRS had to submit a formal apology for punishing Obama's enemies. You can look it up. It's what the beauty of the internet is for. He's broken enough rules. He was the first president to charge a fine to U.S. citizens that wouldn't go on welfare. If you don't go on my Obamacare, well, then you're going to have to pay a fine. Dude, I don't want to go on your Obamacare. Well, then you're just going to cheat and go to the emergency room. No! Lots and lots of people don't. And you're fining them. You're fining good people who don't want to make their neighbors pay their bills. And he fined them. He was the first president to ever put a fine on Americans who wouldn't go on welfare. And he wants to pick a fight? Sure. Why not? You've ruined everything else. Why not ruin this too? Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the future.